Hey guys, this is Parabolic Entertainment today bringing you No Man's Sky Update 1.03. Now I'm super excited about this. This is going to be the day one patch that hits. And what this means for us is a lot of the bugs that you've seen, these new guys going out and getting the game before it even comes out, a lot of this shit they're complaining about is actually going away. So apparently Sean Murray and the people at Hello Games have been working on this patch pretty much the day after this thing went gold, and that's really exciting because it shows just the amount of devotion. It says here that 90%, 99.9% of the people, all you have to do is install a game before you begin to play. So it's going to be really simple. I'm sure it's going to be automatic on PS4. I don't personally have one because, well, PC is better, but nonetheless. It looks like it's going to be really simple to do. Servers will be wiped on Sunday and Monday. They are intentionally doing so to clear out any of the junk and named stuff, since what I'm about to get to here with the patch updates. Hello Games does warn this does contain some spoilers, so just prepare yourselves, people. I don't know if you've been watching the gameplay streaming through Twitch and YouTube. It's been fantastic. I'm super excited about this, and I'm sure you guys are too. So let's get right into it. So three paths. So obviously, there's trading, exploring, and fighting. So what it looks like here, they have actually defined unique paths within No Man's Sky in order to do that, and that's pretty exciting because in the early gameplay that people were leaking, it did not look as though that was really the case. You kind of made your own. You kind of did whatever the hell you wanted to, but there's no clear-ish defined path. But nonetheless, the game is still going to be exciting, and it's going to be more exciting with that. Here, the universe, they have changed the rules of the universe generation. So, if you watch some of the early gameplay, once again, what you notice is they have a lot of the same shit popping up left and right. There are some very varied. Wow. There are a lot of planets that have a lot of variation to them. But in here, it shows that they have identified that it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to keep the player interested. What you notice from people streaming this stuff early is they'd pop onto one planet, hit one site, one maybe two, mine a little bit of stuff, and then they just leave it, right? So it doesn't make it too much. It didn't make it as exciting to explore as it will be now. Also, galaxies are going to be 10 times larger. That is insane. So I don't know if that 18 quintillion planets thing just got broken and now it's higher. Nonetheless, does it really matter? No, because it's going to take 512 billion years for a person to explore everything, right? So it's all. So for those of you who don't know, that is what 40 something times the age of our universe. So yeah, diversity, creatures are now more diverse. If you notice in the early gameplay, a lot of the creatures they looked very much alike. That was something I noticed and something I was a little bit concerned about. They are very much four-legged animals. Sometimes, yeah, you had your flying creatures and all that stuff, but they were very much based off of creatures that we see in today's world. So I'm hoping that with that, it's going to bring forth some really crazy shit for us to find. Planets, they've added dead moons, meaning that it's not going to have flora or fauna. Okay, it's going to be stuff like our own moon. Okay. Low atmosphere and extreme hazardous planets. Extreme hazards include blizzards and dust storms. Down below, we'll get into it in a second, but they do identify that they have made weather a lot more deadly, so be careful out there searching for stuff. Atmosphere, space, nighttime, and day skies are now 4 times more varied due to the new atmospheric system. So it's cool. So they've adjusted how the light is rendered onto the planets through the simulated atmosphere. I can tell you from working with Maya and 3D Studio Max that is not an easy thing to do. So props to them for gaining more diversity with that. They've also reduced what appears to be the planet rotation speed. People were struggling with that. There wasn't enough daylight, or there was too much nighttime, or so on and so forth. So they have done that. Terrain generation, caves now up to 128 meters tall. This is pretty cool. If you watch some of the early gameplay, once again, you do see some caves, but a lot of them seemed fairly small. They weren't this crazy shit that you expect to just fall into, right? Some alien type cave that is just so awe-inspiring. So it looks like they may have just worked on that. So I'm pretty excited to dig down. Ship diversity. A lot of the early on ships, they were very much similar. They didn't have much variation between their cargo space, the types of equipment you could attach to them. Even the look of them was, in some cases, because there were some pretty crazy shit that was found, but in some cases it was they looked almost identical, right? And we're buying this game to expect something more than that. Inventory. So one major complaint I had um, from the early gameplay was it did not appear that you could store much shit. If you found something really good and you wanted to carry it, into the next galaxy and sell it, I'm not going to give out spoilers with that, but there was a video posted with something really cool found. Um, Now it appears you're going to actually have the storage space to do so, and my guess is they are also adjusting. So it notes here, suit inventories now store 2.5 more times items per slot. So its max used to be 100, so now it's going to be 250. And for ships, each slot is going to be 500 resources, which is excellent because people were having to drop out and mine the shit out of just the basic stuff to move around, so they didn't have much freedom. Um, they have noted here, and I'm going to highlight it with my mouse here. Okay, forgive me for just doing a regular screen capture of my desktop. Normally, what I would like to do is have some music and everything like that in the background, but since this just came out, I'm super excited about it. I wanted to share it with you guys, so bear with me here. They're going to increase even this storage space even further in their next update. They have identified that this is one of many updates and several content adds. Okay, so it's not going to be what we all initially thought was going to be just game day or day game one, and or day one game, and what you see is what you get. No, they're going to be adding stuff to it, so I'm really excited for that. It says here trading's now deeper. I don't know if you guys watched the early video. If you did, then you notice that the contents of what was within that trading system was very, very similar from station to station, almost exact. It kind of made me sad a little bit because I'm like, well, shit. If I want to be a trader, I don't want to trade the same materials from station to station to station. That's going to be boring as shit, right? So here they've added in each star system's own needs and wants. So it's really starting to mimic what a game like Elite Dangerous does with its complex logistical system that's in place. All trading values have been rebalanced, so there were some items, without getting into detail, which were able to be sold for stupidly large amounts of money. And no, I'm not talking about the Atlas stones. I'm talking about regular mats, okay? It was dumb. People could make, and surprisingly enough, no one exploited this in their live streams, which surprised the shit out of me. But there was an element that you could sell one stack for 20 grand compared to 3 grand of a 100% stack of another item. It was a little bit unbalanced. Here's a little bit of a spoiler, just an FYI. Hello Games did identify this has some spoilers in it. You can feed animals, okay, and now they have their own diet based on the planet and climate. So depending, you now have a choice on what to feed them. So you got to do your research. You got to scan these fuckers before you throw shit into their mouth, right? So that's kind of cool. I'm really interested to see how feeding them works to your benefit. It seems like they just kind of be like your planetary pet. I don't know. Graphical effects, lighting, and texture resolution has been improved. Shadow quality is doubled, meaning that your shadows are going to be much more intense. You're going to have a lot more contrast between the two, which is going to be pretty cool considering a lot of these planets, in some cases, sit really close to their stars. Um, Balancing, so um, several hundred upgrades have had stat changes, um, including for your exosuit and weapon, and new upgrades have been added to that. So with that said, some of the balancing that was in place was kind of skewed. It essentially it gave your multi-tool the ability to do stupid amounts of damage or stupid amounts of mining, but it did not adequately deal with the heat issue. If you don't know, now you do. Your mining tool heats up. Combat auto aim and weapon aim has been completely rewritten. Okay, so there was an auto aim feature. However, this appears that it's actually going to be more not for fighting, but actually, I'm willing to bet this is going to help us out a lot when we're trying to scan stuff that's flying around or running really fast. A lot of people struggle with that in their streams. Space combat, advanced techniques have been introduced, guys. So this means you're going to start to see shit from like Battlestar Galactica. If you don't know what that is, get the fuck out and stop doing anything on the internet, because that show is amazing. Not the old shit where they have like Egyptian helmets and shit. We're talking about the new stuff. It's some of the best acting you'll ever see in any show. The first season's a little bit iffy on the graphics, but then they get their budget. Um, so the people who so the pirate frequency has been increased. People weren't getting hit up a lot. They weren't getting attacked a lot, so that kind of made it a little bit boring. Okay, this one's straight to Damien and all those people who are utilizing the infinite warp cells shit, and they got to the center of the galaxy super fast. One, you guys are fucking stupid for spending so much money on your games. Two, you get what you deserve with this one because everything's about to be reset for you. Three, those exploits that you identified, thank you for doing so, because that you just made it so much harder for getting to the center of the galaxy, which is what it should have been in the first fucking place. So thank you for bringing that up. Okay, you used to be able to sell some items for extreme amounts of money, and you used to be able to get infinite or two warp cells free at every station. It wasn't. No, you could just leapfrog then from station to station to station and just hit the center of the galaxy. Um, Foundations for buildings on super large planets. There were low reproductive crashes when you warped further than 256 light years in one session. That was due to the exploit, but when you did that, the game tended to crash because it's trying to generate all this shit. It's like Minecraft. That's like if you had God mode and you just threw yourself, 500 miles in one direction. Your lag is going to spike because it can't handle generating all that shit that fast. Space station interiors are now more varied. I'm super excited about this. If you watch the early gameplay, space stations, it was pretty straightforward and they almost copy or cookie cutter from station to station to station with the exception of the Atlas stations. Okay. Now they've added bars, trade rooms, and a lot of hydroponic labs. I'm sure they've added other goodies in there that they're not telling us about. But I'm super excited. It's going to make it more of a home rather than just a stop on the way. You know what I mean? Networking ability to scan star systems when that other players have discovered on the galactic map. This is going to be such a huge help in trying to contact your friends. They have increased the chance of you finding your buddies by doing this, and I think that's fantastic. Ship scanning. So now, if you noticed in some of the early demos that were given, you could scan the whole planet from up above, and it would start identifying locations and such. You couldn't do that in the game that people were playing. My guess is, excuse me, my guess is that that was something they were still working out some bugs with. So early access people didn't have that ability, and if you and don't let the early access videos sway you, because it's very clear that it is going to be like what it was in the demos and not what you saw in the first gameplay leaked out. Flying over terrain, pop-up in shadow artifacts have been reduced. Not 100% sure what that means. There were quite a few people in the live streams commenting about the pop-ins and shadows. I don't know what they were talking about, so I apologize, guys. Generation speed has been increased twofold, so that way it doesn't. You could see it start to generate if you were flying fast enough in front of you. Kind of took away from the whole, hey, I'm on a planet that actually exists. So this will help with that. And it looks like Sean Murray and James Swallow. Man, he must have gotten a lot of shit as a kid. They both rewrote a lot of the Atlas path to more clearly relate to the theme that the player's freedom has in the universe, if that makes any sense. Um, Early mission text has been rewritten to allow for multiple endings. Okay, so he might be identifying here, guys. There is actually potentially an ending. My guess is it's when you hit the center of the galaxy. I'm not going to spoil what happens. I know, and it's awesome, but when you get to the center, this is going to affect what happens next. I'll leave it at that for you. They're adding the ability to build bases and own giant space freighters, guys. Holy fucking shit! That is fantastic. Oh god damn. Have you seen some of these ships that are in there? This is gonna be fucking cool, guys. The universe they've built is a pretty large canvas. They've got a lot of ideas. This is the type of game that they wanted to be loved, Sean. So this guy. He's so modest. He's a fantastic creator, and I cannot wait to get my hands on this game. Unfortunately, I'm doing it on PC, so I get it on Friday. Fuck you, all PS4 players. But other than that, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing, guys. Well, anyways, I'll leave it at that. You guys can go and read specific details in this report. If you can, please like and subscribe to Parabolic Entertainment. I am going to be giving you tutorials and helpful hint videos and such, and actual gameplay of No Man's Sky when it releases for PC. And of course, PC is going to have mods. People are going to mod the shit out of it. You're not going to be able to get that crap from PlayStation players. You're going to be able to get that from me here at Parabolic Entertainment. So, hit us up. Go to our site, like our page, shoot us a comment. If you want me to do something specific, go ahead and post and let me know. My name is Biscuit Mammal. Feel free to shoot me a friend invite. And hey, maybe if we happen to collide with each other, we can start doing some gameplay together and start showing off some crazy shit that we can do. Alright guys, this is Parabolic Entertainment.